Hi, gang. I need to get the chat up there. Let's get that going. Let's see. Where do I find chat? That is a website. Go here and we go to bookmarks and we go down to CreatiVets and we go over here and boom, we hit that. And there we are. Hooray. All right. Put that over there where it belongs. And then we'll go back to this. Hey. All right. Here we are, Tuesday. Another hangout. Friendly hangout. Coronavirus. Not as bad as the Camry virus, but pretty bad. Glad you guys are staying home. Hey, Portia. Let me see. I've got coffee here, you know. Plasma, right? Oh, it needs to be heated. I spent all that time. Okay, let me first give you something here. Let's just pop this in there and go enter that. Okay, that see, we're going to open development songs. Open development songs. All right. So while we're waiting for people to get on board, I want you to go to that, I guess, well, in my case, it's up here. I don't know where yours is, but go to that link, click on it, and open up. And if you want to print, do whatever you like with it, but open that up and open up the development songs, all right? The development songs. There's 3 documents in there, but we don't need the other 2. Just the 3 document songs, all right? Okay, I'm going to get my coffee here. I'll be right back. Oh, yeah. I think that's going to be warm enough for a little while. How are you guys doing? Are you hanging in there? Everybody hanging in? I am. I'm having a great time here at the house. I'm writing songs with my beautiful cutaway Gibson. This is a super duper wonderful new guitar that Gibson makes. It's got it doesn't have the thick back here. You know, like a standard J45 has a real, thick back. The back comes way down like this. This one's cut at least an inch shorter here across the back here, right here across this part here. You know, this measurement here. And that gives it a slightly more mid-rangey effect. So it records really, really well, but it still sounds like a Gibson. Hey, Timmy. Timmy Comeback is now hosting. All right. Well, thank you. With one viewer. Hey, one viewer. Maybe you're the most important one. If you're the one, you're the number one. Glad to have you here. Anyway, that's my Gibson J45 cutaway, mahogany back and sides, and like I say, it's let's see, what do they call this thing? It's a special one. It's called AG, mahogany AG, which stands for Advanced Genealogy. I don't know what it stands for, but it's a new thing they're doing. At any rate, waiting for people to come on. Good morning, everyone. Dark Golden Soul is here. Thank you. Good to have you on board. Now, I'll say this a couple of times. Make sure you go to that link up at the top of, well, it's over here. Up at the top of the page, or maybe it's over here. I don't know. Wherever you have your chat, go to that. Go to the very first chat here. The very first one is Google Drive, and you can download the development. You see the next one down. It says Open Development Songs, right? Because we're going to go through these songs today, so it was really going to help. And it's actually going to be critical that you open these documents, all right? So that as we talk about them, you know, we're gonna talk about these songs, and I want you to be able to read along with me, all right? Because we're going to get into some development today, some how to tell a story, all right? How to tell a story. First, a little kind of a little background, storytelling. You know, I mean, as we all know, you know, again, we write songs about compelling emotions, right? And there's so many different ways to get at this emotion with our lyrics and our melodies too. But today we're going to just talk about, well, we'll talk a little bit about music, actually. We will, but not a lot. Mostly it's lyrics today. There's many ways to tell a story. So let's just take an example for our stream today. Let's just take an example of a positive love song. Let's just say let's take a topic like "I'll Always Love You." I just pull that out of the air. "I'll always love you." All right. This is a song that you want to write, and let's say you want to write it for your girlfriend or your wife. All right, or your boyfriend or whatever. Okay. So we're going to use that as our dummy talking point, our what we call, I guess, our experimental rabbit. All right, so here I am. I just got my coffee. Speaking of which, pardon me. I got these lovely cups at West Elm. They're really pretty, aren't they? Here's to you, pals. Love you guys, gals. Love me, everyone. Love everybody. Okay, so here I am sitting down today. It's the 21st of April, and I want to write a song about my wife or girlfriend. I want to tell them how I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to love this woman forever. I'm going to love this man or woman. We're just going to say woman for me, but you understand that it could be a man or a woman. But for example, I'm going to just talk about me because, hey, it's my show. My show. All right, so here I am. Oh, you know, I'm just sitting here. And let me put my 3-string capo, which I love this darn thing. So I'm going to put it on again because it just makes me want to play more. All right. And I've got my capo up here, so I'm actually in F here. Just for whatever reason, who cares? So I'm sitting here, resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me. No, not that one. So I'm thinking, geez, I want to write a song about my sweetheart, that I'm going to love her forever. I've never written a song about that, and I've just come in my relationship with her. I've decided just in the last little while that I am going to love her forever. So this is a new discovery and a new commitment for me, right? All right, so how can I tell this story? How am I going to tell this story, right? There's this thing called, I've made up this concept, which is a very old concept, but I'm putting it in a new way, and I call this the emotional history. All right, let's all write that down. Emotional history. All right. Hey, you guys. There's man glazed black. All right, good. Emotional history. All right, we're writing that down. All right, now. All right, hey, thank you. Here's your coffee with a dragon on it. I like that dragon thing. I'm thinking of getting a dragon tattoo. Ooh, look out. I'm getting ready to get in trouble. Getting ready to feel some pain. Okay, emotional history. So let's just, all songs are compelling emotions, right? And what we're going to do right now is talk about the history of this emotion that we are going to discuss. That, like, I'm sitting down to write this thing. I just realized I'm going to love my girl forever. So how can I approach this? Well, let's look first at the emotional history. All right? So what we have is we have today. So we have the present moment. And we're going to say that the present moment is when I discovered and I decided that I was going to make the commitment. I decided this to myself, and now I'm getting ready to tell my sweetheart this news. But let's look at the emotional history. What the emotional history does is it focuses you on the topic that you're going to sing about. So you're not going to think about anything else in your history other than what has been affected by this decision. All right? How did you come to this decision? So we have, of course, being a history, emotional history, we obviously have the past, right? Yeah. And then, of course, we've got up to the present, and then we've got the future. All right? So now, what songwriters do, and this is the great thing about songwriters, is they know how to really mine the gold that is this emotional history, right? So let's look at the history of this situation. When did I first meet this gal? All right? Now, most amateurs think, oh, well, we've got the history, let's say it starts at the beginning and it goes up, but let's break it down. Great songwriters know how to know that this history thing is a big deal. It's a big deal for filling out a song, for making it rich with the emotion, we know how to break it down into minute and very specific spots in this history. So in this emotion of love that we find for this girl, we start with when I first met her, what was it like? Now watch this. What was it like on the next day after you met her? Did you make a call? Did she refuse your call? You see how, are you getting where I'm going with this? We're going to dig down into the gold mine of the treasure of memories that surrounds this forever love. And we're going to go like, what was it like a week after you met her? What was it like a month after you met her? What was it like a year after? And I mean all the way to, what was it like 5 minutes ago? What was it like an hour ago? Just last night? You see how I'm breaking everything down here? This to me is one of the most amazing and easy to access treasures in all of songwriting, is the emotional history of this, of whatever you're doing, right? Whatever you're writing. And we'll get more into this when we get into our song list. And here we are right now. So that was the history. Now let's move forward. What's it going to be like 5 minutes after I sing this song? What is it going to be like an hour after? What is it going to be like the morning after, or tonight, and then the morning after? What will it be like a week from now? Of course, you have to imagine what it would be like, but you're now starting to imagine, because I'm going to confess my forever love to this woman, I can imagine how things are going to, well, hopefully get better, right? We're assuming, for this moment, that the woman would like to hear this news, right? Oh, but wait, what if she doesn't want to hear it? Well, then guess what? The immediate future is not going to look good. It's going to be surprising for the singer. The singer's going to go, oh, wait a minute. So we might want to talk about that. You may want to say, I'm not sure. If she / you, in another lecture, I talked about characters. Strength of characters, like me, you, and he and she, and all that stuff. That's in another one back in the emotional history of this series. Anyway, so you get my drift. We could go all the way to next year, 2 years, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, grandkids, great grandkids, on the deathbed. Ooh. And also, let me mention, in the history, in the emotional history of this, you could go back to birth. You could go back to your childhood, because your mama might have said the kind of woman you're going to want, right? And so you realize now, in this present moment, she is the woman that your mama had talked about when you were a little, or you wanted the girl to be like your mama, like, my mom was this way and this way and this way, or Aunt Gertrude was this way, or my grandmother was this way, or my granddad, or my blah, 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 whatever. You can go all the way back to your birth. That brings you, as long as it's in that emotion, the emotional history. So you want to stay in the history that immediately relates to this feeling that you're having right now, okay? So that's what the emotional history is. Very important, and a wonderful tool to expand your lyrics, right? To make something, to enrichen the experience of this story, all right? Okay. Good. All right. We've covered that. Now we'll include the emotional history as we talk about these things that we're going to come up with. I will say now that it's been 20 minutes in, for those latecomers, make sure you go to the top of this. My list is on this side of the page. Yours might be on this side. Go to the top chat and download. Go to this. Click on that link and go and load up your development songs. All right, development song examples. I want everybody to have that in front of them, either on their screen or if you want to print it, great. All right. So will somebody out there let me know that it's working? And you might have already said it. You might have already told me. Let's see. We got Man Glazed Black. Yeah, let's see. Anything else? Good morning. All right. Yeah. Dark Golden Soul. Yeah, we've said hello to you. Glad to have you aboard. Let's see. A space to chat with everyone when we're not streaming download. Oh, okay. All right. Good. All right. So would somebody let me know that they got that it's working, that it's there? Because I don't want to go forward until I know that this document that has all the lyrics on it, right? It's going to be quite a few lyrics. I don't know if we'll get through it all today, but we'll definitely see what we can do. All right, because we're going to learn through examples today rather than me just lecture you. We're just going to talk about these songs, and then through these songs, we will talk about all the different development techniques. All right. So I'm patiently waiting to make sure. Well, while I'm waiting, I can tell you a few more things about the general. It works. Okay, good. All right, Dark Golden Soul. It's working. Great. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, so everybody, go get that lyric if you want it. If not, you just bear with us, and we're just gonna get on into this thing. All right, good. I can mention a few things about development. We can talk about music always rules over lyric. So even though we're talking mostly about lyric today, remember, and we've talked about this before, music always dominates lyric. So if the music is happy and the lyrics are sad, the song's going to be ironically happy. Even though the lyrics are sad, the music's happy, so sorry, it's going to be a happy song. And the people pick up the irony of that, all right? And prosody, we talk about prosody. Prosody means the emotional marriage of lyric and melody, or lyric and music. Good prosody is when the lyric, like a sad lyric, is with sad melody. That's good prosody. When an angry lyric is angry music, good prosody. When love lyric is a love music, that's good prosody, right? Now we can do what we call forced prosody, which we just talked about, where happy music is with sad lyrics. That's forcing opposing energies together, which is what Motown did for years. We're on to you, Motown. We know your secrets now. Yes. So, yeah. Baby, baby, where did our love go? See how happy that is? But read the lyric. Whoo, it's sad, man. It's sad. Everybody dance. Teenagers, get out there on the dance floor and dance to this sad music. You're already sad enough. You're a teenager, right? Teenagers are inherently full of the emotions. They don't know what to do with these emotions. They don't know. They want to know, but they don't. So this was Motown's secret cool formula that they did. They said, hey, let's make most of our songs happy. Even if we're writing angsty teenage lyrics, we'll still make it happy, and that way it won't be as sad, and they won't go out and, hurt themselves. Yeah. All right. So music rules. There's only three basic song themes. We've talked about this. There's a life, love, and spirituality. And that's it. And it's the only reason why I bring this up is you don't want to you have to be careful about not mixing them too much. If you have a love song, make sure that it's focused on love. If you have a life song, make sure it's focused on life. Don't get too much into one character that you might be falling in love with or that you're breaking up with. Because if you do that, this story that you wanted to tell about you and the guys or whatever, it ends up being a story about you and the girl, right? Or the guy, in case, whatever. All right? Oh, you want me to play some guitar, bro? Well, I can play some guitar. Isn't that a pretty guitar? So, see, I was 6, he was 60, in the land of good and plenty, juicy fruit and endless fishing, carrying his army pack. My first catch was memorialized in black and white. I won first prize when Grandpa let me take his fishing line. All I got's a photograph. I want that day back. Bunch of kids in our prime then, high school pals, but we were Vikings. We took some beer and Boone's Farm wine, borrowed Daddy's Pontiac. There wasn't no fear in the rite of passage. Ride was long, love was savage. Days rolled by just like molasses. Now it's rolling way too fast. I want that day back. Like a long lost friend, like a carnival ride that never ends. Let's see, Dun was a dime back then. All I want is one more chance. Want that day back. Give me a crisp day, early fall. What matters most is college ball with marching bands and fans galore, rolling out to welcome mat. The homecoming queen waved to the crowd. She was mine, I was proud. Later on she said, Daddy, I love you. What you gonna say to that? I want that day back. Like a long lost friend, like a carnival ride that never drive strings were a dime back then. All I want is one more chance. I want that day back. I want that day back. There you go. I haven't sung that song in a while. I forgot one of the words. Oh well, Anyway, that sounds pretty good. Isn't this nice guitar? Nice guitar. It sounds so good. Okay. Has everybody gone to the? Everybody's gone and gotten the lyrics. I'm assuming by now. So let's dive into this and talk about. Let's go back to our topic. Our topic is. I just discovered that I'm going to love my girl forever. So I'm going to either propose to her. I'm just going to decide whatever. But this is the moment where I'm going to tell my sweetheart that I love her forever. So here we are sitting down to write this song. We're going to go through the different ways we can approach this idea, all right? Different development techniques to express the same thing, all right? Okay, so let's look at our first lyric here. Our first lyric is a wonderful song by Nancy Griffith, and it's called Love at the Five and Dime. Rita was 16 years, hazel eyes and chestnut hair. She really made the Woolworth counter shine. Eddie was a sweet romancer and a darn good dancer. They'd waltz the aisles of the Five and Dime. Eddie played the steel guitar, and his mama cried 'cause he played in the bars and kept young Rita out late at night. So they married up in Abilene, lost a child in Tennessee. Still that love survived, 'cause they'd sing, dance a little closer to me, dance a little closer now, dance a little closer tonight, dance a little closer to me, 'cause it's closing time, and love's on sale tonight at this Five and Dime. Man, you can't get better writing than that, can you? Then it goes on, one of the boys in Eddie's band took a shine to Rita's hands, so Eddie ran off with the baseman's wife. They're in trouble. Ah, but he was back by June, singing a different tune and sporting Miss Rita back by his side. So they obviously made up, right? And then the chorus goes again, and then Eddie traveled with barroom bands till arthritis took his hands. Ooh, that must be they're getting old. And now he sells insurance on the side. Rita's got a house to keep, dime store novels, and a love so sweet. They danced to the radio late at night, and they'd sing, blah, blah, blah. Rita was 16 years, hazel eyes and chestnut hair. She really made that Woolworth counter shine. Eddie was a sweet romancer and darn good dancer, and they waltzed the aisles at the Five and Dime. All right? Okay. Wow. What a song to begin with, all right? Now, this is a particular development technique that we call what? What do we call what? We call this the classic narrative, okay? This is the classic narrative, all right? Now, there's there's things about a classic narrative that we want to bring to your attention. First of all, as you notice, time goes by outside the time of the song, right? So it starts, let's see, we want to start over here. It starts in the beginning, and then bing to bing moves up in time. They meet each other, they danced, they fell in love, they went on the road, they fell in love with two other people, they ended up breaking up, then they got back together, and so a lot of time is passing, a lot more than what the song takes. The song takes 4 minutes, and this song takes years. It's a whole lifetime, right? So, what is the topic of this song? The topic of this song, the emotional message is love conquers. True love, real love, conquers all bad things that happen to couples, right? Adversity. I think I'm going to sneeze. No? Okay, we're not going to sneeze. So time passes. The next thing that happens is lots and lots of original detail. Okay? Lots and lots of original detail. Very important. The next thing that can happen Not so much in this song. This song's got a pretty interesting melody, but you don't need a melody-driven song when you're talking about classic narratives. You don't need it, because the story is so interesting. And as you can imagine, a lot of country music is classic narrative. They're actually kind of holding the fort of classic narratives, which is kind of cool. So if we take our song, we take our idea, like I'm going to confess that I love my wife. I could take the classic narrative route. I could say, as I'm writing, as I'm thinking of what I'm going to do, I could say, I first met you, we call this the backstory. I first met you at the candy shop, and you were in front of me in line, and I bumped into you by mistake. Pretty soon we're having a pretty good time. You ordered a chocolate sundae, and I ordered a coffee shake. It's funny how all these wonderful memories that we make, and then you could go back to the present moment, and then go back, and then go. Well, not back to the present moment. Excuse me. And then we can go, and then you and I, we started getting serious. I started spending more time at your house, and blah blah blah, and then build it all the way up. We can go like, again, more recent. This morning, I realized that you are the prize that a lifetime can only keep. That kind of thing. And so you take it all the way past, and you can even go, if you wanted to, you can make up the future. You can say, I'm telling you, I'm telling you now that I'm going to propose to you, and our children will be this way, our children will be that way. Or you can even keep it more of a classic narrative and just make it a he and she. Or, well, actually, you could keep it me and you. You say, we got married on June 18th, and everything was great, and we had kids, and we had grandkids. So you can actually pretend on past that moment. If you wanted to impress her by saying, look, I see the future, I know how everything's going to come out, and so I've decided to go ahead and just stretch this thing out to a real classic narrative where there is no actual present moment. Everything just keeps going by, just like in this song here, where everything was in the past tense. Did you notice? Everything was past. Everything was, right? Oh no, I'm sorry. In the last verse, Eddie, it says, now he sells insurance on the side. So it did finally come up to the present moment, way at the back end of the song, right? It brought it up to the present moment. But still, this is considered a classic narrative, all right? All right, so that's a classic narrative, loaded with unique details. The music doesn't have to be, as important. See if I can remember this. Oh yeah. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. North to lead us, knocking up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, saw a shimmering light. I mean, da 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 da. I mean, that's not a real interesting melody, right? But he's telling a story, so he didn't need to have an interesting. He didn't have to have an interesting melody. It is interesting that the chords are changing. Welcome to the Hotel California. What a lovely night. What a lovely night. Sorry. There's plenty of room at the Hotel California. You know, the chorus. Right? And in this chorus, we have the kind of chorus. Let's talk about this chorus. It's a dance a little closer to me, dance a little closer now. Love's on sale tonight at the 5-9. What we have here is there's actually 4 different kinds of choruses, and this is one of them. This is a setting chorus, a snapshot chorus, right? We take a snapshot of the two of them dancing. That's the chorus. It's not a big picture chorus like we think of a chorus, like "Welcome to the Hotel California." What a love! That's the big picture of the details that are in the verses. But this song is a snapshot, right? A snapshot chorus, right? Let's look and see if I can find the list of the 4 choruses here. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we are. We have a big picture, a conclusive chorus. We have a snapshot chorus, which is one scene. And the thing about the one scene, if your chorus is one scene, hey Seth, how you doing, buddy? You need to go and download the lyrics. There's a link at the beginning of this chat. So go get that thing. And download those lyrics. It's called Development Songs, all right? Go get those development song examples, and we're going through that. We're on the first song so far, and we're having a heck of a good time, all right? Okay, good. Be right back. Good enough. All right, so we have the big picture. We have a snapshot, which is a single picture. We have what I call the anti-chorus, which they use that expression in L.A. a lot, which is, you expect in the modern world of pop music that the choruses are going to explode and be, the power chorus, really popular power chorus. But you can also have a chorus that goes lower and that's not a powerful chorus. And they call that the anti-chorus because it's not giving you what you expect. You expect a big power chorus. But sometimes people choose not to do that big, huge, powerful chorus for emotional reasons. Like take the song "The Waiting is the Hardest Part" by our dearly departed and much missed and super talented and wonderful guy, Tom Petty. The verse is and the waiting is the hardest part. He drops way down. And why does he do that? Why doesn't he give the big power chorus? Because by dropping lower than the verse, you really get the feeling of the angst and the depression and the sorrow of this guy. The waiting is the hardest part, and when you drop down lower in your scales, when you drop down lower than the verse notes, if your verse notes are here, you drop down here. That's totally unexpected, So, and it's for the emotional effect of sadness, sorrow, angst, and introverted. Those low notes, suddenly you feel alone. and kind of miserable. So it was super effective that he did that, all right? So just a little tip about where you're going to choose to have your melody land. So if I'm writing a song, like, and it's somewhere in here, here comes the chorus. Na 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 na. So that's the big power chorus, right? But and you can feel that power. But if I go on na 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 na. This is a chorus. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. See how you can manipulate the listener? A listener's emotions by your choice of high or low notes? Just that alone, let alone long or short notes, right? Like I chose to go long notes as well as low. Na, 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 na. Long notes. Lots of contrast, remember? We've talked about the basic tools of every songwriter is what? Well, of course, besides your brilliant creative mind, which is the basic tool of all things, your tools that you have to manipulate are your unique details, the details of your life, contrast, and repetition. And that contrast, all those things bring interest. They all create interest. All right? So if I'm going da 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 da, it's a da 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 ba ba da da. Now let's contrast that with na 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 na. See what I mean? Contrast. Really does just keep that listener's attention. And also, of course, repetition. You notice that I was going to start repeating that section again. Da 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 da. Repeat. Because the listener expects some, in effect, they expect quite a bit of repetition, more than you might notice. But if you look at a song, okay, he's back. Seth is back. He's tracking. Good enough. It's just you and me, right? So I'm going to zap my coffee here. Just hang on. Goodbye. Wow. Back again. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on in this song, isn't there? We have did we get all the different kinds? Oh, there's the anti-chorus, and then there's a list chorus also. A chorus that just lists things, all right? So those are the 4 different kinds of choruses, all right? 3, 2, 1. Coffee time. All right. Yeah, you guessed it. I've got a microwave in my office for this very, very reason, because Uncle Ricky has to have plasma. Sorry, got to happen. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, let's move on. Okay, so this is one way that I could decide, in my moment, I could just say, I'm going to write a story about it. Okay? the classic narrative. Now, let's move to the next one, is Living Just for the City, all right? The fantastic Stevie Wonder, all right? And I'm going to tip you off, because it's just you and me, I'm going to tip you off to a great album that got very little notice, and that's Stevie Wonder's last album. And it says it's something like A Time for Love. It's called something like that. But you can go on Spotify and you can find this bitch. Let's go on Spotify and put in Stevie Wonder here, and I'll tell you what it's called. Stevie Wonder, artist, and the album is, I think it's called A Time for Love, or let's see, where's discography? There we are. Okay, A Time to Love, that's what it's called. It was made in 2005. A Time to Love. It was all new songs. He hadn't done an album in a long time of new songs. And this album is a freaking masterpiece. It's as good as any of his great albums. And it got passed over. Rolling Stone just really hardly even talked about it. And they realized they made a big mistake, and when they named the 100 best albums of the year, they put him at 25, which is pretty good. But man, they hardly, I mean, he should have been on the cover of Rolling Stone for doing that album. I mean, you know, the guy is freaking crazy genius, right? Crazy in a wonderful way. Yeah, we all love Stevie. Hey.
Are you going already?
Oh, thank you, honey. Look at me. Double shooting here. Whoa. I might have to drink this one now because why? It's fresh. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's so good. Now, we have a cappuccino machine downstairs. I don't know if you can see the foam there. I don't want to spill it on my computer. Anyway, here's to you. And this is my favorite cup, Mary, 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 Mary. It was a Christmas cup, but you know what? I want to be merry all the time. Yeah. Oh, that is so good. Ooh, ah, ooh. Okay, let's read this. Lyric together, shall we? A boy is born in Hard Time, Mississippi, surrounded by four walls. Ain't so pretty. His parents give him love and affection to keep him strong, moving in the right direction, living just enough for the city. His father works some days for 14 hours, and you can bet he barely makes $1. His mother goes to scrub floors for many, and you can best believe she hardly gets a penny. Living just enough for the city. His sister's black, but she's sure enough pretty. Her skirt is short, but Lord, her legs are sturdy. To walk to school, she's got to get up early. Her clothes are old, but never are they dirty. Living just enough, and so forth. Brother, so what do we have here? What we have here is, we have here a descriptive narrative, right? It's a list of descriptions. But as it's describing, it's moving things forward. We have a little bit of time passing here, and we have a storyline opening up, but it's doing it all through descriptions. So it's a descriptive narrative. So I could let's take my idea, which was I'm going to tell my sweetie that I love her forever. I could go back and say, you were wearing this, and I was wearing this. You were doing this, and I was doing that. Describing just the way things are. You had a job here, I had a job there. Then move to the next one. You know, soon you took this position and you did that position, and man, you look so good in that, you know, the dress of the day. You know, so the first one she's wearing a mini skirt, and the second one she's wearing a jogging outfit. What do you call it? Yoga pants, right? You look good in those yoga pants. And so for describing her all the way up to this present moment. And now I see you with the hair, in a ponytail, and you know how that drives me crazy. And that gorgeous, that gorgeous whatever you're wearing, this and that thing and that, and the car you drive, or just describing everything about her and about you. So the whole thing could be done through descriptions only, right? So there's very little actions. It's mostly like, you look like this and you do this. You look like this and you did this. You look like this, you did this. So there's not like, you went to work one day and you went to the machine and you put the money in and it wouldn't work, and I came and kicked it and boom, the milk came out and we laughed about it for a week, and so forth. See, there's a lot of actions there. This is a descriptive narrative, right? And there's a really kind of cool thing at the end of this that I'd like to bring to your attention of this song. And that is, I'll just read the last verse. I hope you hear inside my voice of sorrow, and that it motivates you to make a better tomorrow. This place is cruel. Nowhere could be much colder. If we don't change the world, we'll soon be over. Living just enough. Stop giving just enough for the city. So what happened there? Whoa. He got out of the describing of the situation, of the people, and he started describing his emotions. So he ended the song in an emotional statement, in a series of emotional statements. So I could take my song and describe everything up to this moment and then go, you see, Deanna, I've always loved you. You were meant for me. The stars have said it. I realize that forever is such a short time with someone that you love, blah, 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 blah. So I could get into that emotional thing to end this narrative. I could use this emotional description. Isn't that cool? Isn't that awesome? Yes. I'm just reading my notes here. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that happens in this song. I don't know if that would work for my little made-up song that we're using as an example, but he's talking about all these other people all the way through the song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 verses is about he, she, they, right? And then on the last verse he says, I hope you hear, right? Meaning everyone listening, right? That's a collective you. And so that's kind of cool. Now, of course, in my little imaginary song, I wouldn't do that, because in my imaginary song, it would be me and you all the way, right? Unless I chose to do he and she, and you could. Well, hey, there's an idea. Maybe I could do he did this, she did that, he did this, she did that, all the way up until now it's me and you. We could switch the persons. That might work. That's the great thing about the creative process is we like to make lots of mistakes, because we've learned in earlier episodes that mistakes make great stories, great songs. Mistakes make great songs, right? Absolutely, I'm right. I'm right. I'm always right. All right. Good old coffee. Yes. Yes. Oh, man. See, how are we doing here? Okay. Now, the next one. Sitting in the morning sun. I wonder if I can play this. Let's see if I can play this. Sitting in the morning sun. Sitting till the evening comes. Watching the ships roll in. I watch them roll away. sitting on the dock of the bay. A funny chord there. Sitting on the bay. Wasting time. Sitting dock of the bay. Watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Yeah, left my home in Georgia. Okay, so you can see what's going on here is notice that it opens in a setting, sitting in the morning sun, waiting until the evening come, watching the ships roll in, and watch them roll away again, sitting in the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away, or I'm just sitting in the dock of the bay wasting time, right? So we've got, so this whole thing, this whole song is taking place in one setting. So we get the sense that there he is sitting there. So we open in the present moment, right? What's the next verse? I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay, because I've had nothing to live for. It looks like nothing's going to come my way. Sitting in the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. So notice the backstory on the second verse. There's a reason, here I am, but there's this other backstory that we want to hip you to. We want to turn you on to this backstory, right? That's going to help enhance and enrich this emotional message that we're talking about. I'm lonely. I'm by myself. I'm sitting on this dock, watching these ships roll in. Now, I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay, because I've got nothing to live for, and it looks like nothing's going to come my way. I mean, wow. This guy's really seriously clinically depressed here, right? Whoa. And so that's the emotion that he's trying to sell, and he's selling it very, very well. Uses a little backstory, right? Now, let's just see what it says. Looks like nothing's going to change. Everything remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I'll remain the same. Yeah. So he's got that young people's angst, right? It just looks like nothing's going to change. And people are trying to tell him what to do, and he doesn't want to do what he doesn't like any of their suggestions, right? And haven't we all felt like this? Especially when we were kids. We felt like this, young adults maybe. Sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. It's 2,000 miles I roam just to make this dock my home. Sitting at the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away, sitting at the dock of the bay, wasting time. Man. And the music is so beautiful. So what we have here is we have a snapshot. This is a song that takes place in one location. And we know that because the song opens in the present moment. And we get the feeling as this song's going on that it's taking place as the song is revealing itself. All right, good. Here's Mrs. OEF5. Glad to have you on board. If you want to get the lyrics, go to the first chat in this link and download the lyrics that say development examples. And you can see the lyrics that we're talking about right now. All right? Now make sure you go and do that. And yeah. All right. So this is a snapshot, single situation. So again, on my song, on my pretend song, say I love her forever, I can start the song by saying, you're wondering why I brought you here today. Well, I've got something to tell you I've always wanted to say. That could be the first verse. Second verse could be, remember when we first met and you gave me that look? You thought you were a mystery, but I could read you like a book. And blah, 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 blah. And now we go back to the present moment. You know, I want to confess that I've always loved you and I always will, and I've got this ring in my pocket to prove that my love will last, that I'm loving you still, blah, blah, blah. I will still, trying to figure that out. All right, anyway, you see what I'm doing? I'm doing a snapshot, which is a single situation, and we know that because it opens on that setting. It opens in that snapshot, that picture, right? And from that picture, we can refer back to an earlier picture. But we always want to return it to the present situation. So this type of song has mixed, unique detail mixed with emotions. Because why am I talking about this one situation? This one situation must be loaded with emotion, right? And in fact, my pretend song is loaded with emotion. I'm going to confess to my sweetheart that she's the permanent one for the rest of my life, right? So there's some emotion for you, all right? Moving right along. All right, this next one is called Don't Take the Girl. But do take a cup of coffee and take a sip of it and see what happens. Oh. Man, that's good. I want to drink this one because it's fresh. I want to get it before it gets cold. Okay, Don't Take the Girl. Let's read through this one, see what we're coming up on this one. All right? Johnny's dad was taking him fishing when he was 8 years old. Little girl came through the front gate holding a fishing pole. His daddy looked down and smiled and said, we can't leave her behind. Son, I know you don't want her to go, but someday you'll change your mind. And Johnny said, little Johnny says, take Jimmy Johnson, take Tommy Thompson, take my best friend, Bo. I had a best friend named Bo. Another story. Take anybody that you want, as long as she doesn't go. Take any boy in the world, Daddy, but please don't take the girl. Okay. So, same old boy, same sweet girl. Notice this time thing. 10 years down the road. He held her tight and kissed her lips in front of the picture show. A stranger came, pulled a gun, and grabbed her by the arm. Said, if you do what I tell you to, there won't be any harm. And Johnny said, he was the one that said it earlier too, take my money, take my wallet, take my credit cards. Here's the watch that my grandma gave me. Here's the keys to my car. Mister, give it a whirl. But please, don't take the girl. Awesome. Okay, let's move on. Had enough of that. Same old boy, same sweet girl. What? 5 years down the road. Or this way. I guess we're going this way. It's hard to do things in reverse. It drives me crazy. All right. There's going to be a little one, and she says it's time to go. Doctor said, baby's fine, but you'll have to leave because his mama's fading fast, and Johnny hits his knees, and then he prays. Take my very breath you gave me. Take the heart from my chest. I'll gladly take her place if you'll have me. Make this my last request. Take me out of this world. God, please don't take the girl. Whew. Powerful, powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. So what's going on here? This is definitely time has passed, right? But something is different about this one. Over here we have a snapshot. Daddy and the son going fishing. Here we got a snapshot outside the theater. And here we got a snapshot at the hospital, right? So this is what I call the multi-snap, where it's like a classic narrative in that lots of time has passed, much more time than the song has passed, which was different in that last song. You felt like the time is in the now, and you're telling a story to the listener, and there you are, you're sitting at the dock of the bay, right? And you're there the whole story. You don't feel like time hasn't, only 3 minutes has gone by for that 3-minute song. Do you see my point? So in a single snapshot, time only passes what we call in the now. Even though we do a backstory, you still have a sense, the listener has a sense that everything's happening right now as you're singing it, right? So as he looks out on the bay, he sees the ship going by, and then he sees this other thing, and then this other thing. So you're actually experiencing this moment with him as he's experiencing it. In this one, we're back to the narrative again, where a lot of time passes, right? But the technique has changed. The technique is, here's a single scene when Johnny was 10. Here's a single scene when Johnny was 20. Here's a single scene when John was 25, right? Very cool, sneaky way to get a narrative in. So take 3 pictures, right? So now, here's my story, about love. Let's go back to the beginning, and let's take a picture of the one scene, like, let's say the coffee shop. Oh, speaking of coffee. Woo! That's good. Okay. So we can do the coffee shop at the beginning, the whole scene. I can do a scene at the coffee shop because let's say that scene was very important, okay, to the relationship. We can do another scene where, like, when we decided, that moment we decided to only date each other and not other people. That would be a deciding moment, wouldn't it be? And it could be like, at a movie theater. It could have been, on a vacation the two of them were taking. Who knows what? I could just, who knows? And then now, this last scene is the present moment, right? So that's another way to make this thing all work, right? And did you also notice that, and we did this, and we noticed it, where else did we notice it? Oh no, we haven't noticed it yet, okay. In this one, you notice that he changes, in this chorus, he changes the chorus words every single time to fit the situation, right? This is totally cool. I know that some beginning writers think, what do we got here? This shield is my power to protect against evil. This shield keeps out harm. The shield does not allow demon or negative energy to pass through it. The shield is my domain, and I alone determine what is allowed to pass as I will it. So will it be, mote it be, so will it be. Well, that's a cool thing. Thanks for sending that. The Condom Factory 123. Thank you for sending that. That's a nice thing to have there. Appreciate that. Or say this 3 times. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So you guys out there, I guess everybody that's out there can read that, and that's a cool thing to say. Okay. Moving on. Thank you for that little sharing moment there. So as you can see, the chorus changes every time. It's okay to change the words in the chorus if it fits the moment. If it fits and describes what the verse was about, it's okay. Notice the music didn't change and the hook didn't change. The title didn't change. So that's an interesting thing to note, because now you have to rhyme girl 3 times. Notice he did take any boy in the world, don't take the girl. Give it a whirl, don't take the girl. And then take me out of this world, don't take the girl. So that would be the one blocking factor. And when we get into rhyme and rhythm, we'll find out ways where you don't have to rhyme it. There are tricks that make it to where you don't have to rhyme it. So that's another thing later. Anyway, so here's the multi-snapshot, all right? All right. So let's go over what we've learned. We've got the classic narrative. We've got the snapshot, which is a single situation. We've got the multi-snap, which is a sneaky way of doing a classic narrative. Now we come to a song by one of my all-time favorite songwriters and singers, Mr. Jimmy Taylor. James Taylor. Yes, some people say that I kind of look like him. Can you see it? Can you? His jaw sticks out a little farther than mine does, but isn't there some similarities there, James? Just yesterday morning, you let me know you were gone. See? Ah! Anyway, I hope someday to meet that wonderful man. So maybe this will lead me to him. Who knows? Anyway, this song is a very interesting and another kind of song, another kind of developing technique. He's got arms like legs. He's got hands on his feet. He's got a nose like a donut. And I need to take some water. There we go. He's got nose like a donut. He's got a tendency to overeat. He don't use tools or weapons. He don't eat meat. He likes to stick to the bushes, tends to avoid the street. But he rides my Eldorado when he comes to town. You know he's out there somewhere trying to track you down. Look up in the sky. Mama, that's the one. See the mighty profile block the noonday sun. He comes from the heart of darkness, 1,000 miles from here. That's a land where they understand what a woman might like to hear. You know that he loves you, baby, for what you really are. His love is burning hot as a big old 10-cent cigar. Now, most of y'all have seen a gorilla in a cage at the local zoo. He mostly sits around contemplating all the things that he'd prefer to do. He dreams about the world outside, from beyond those bars of steel. And no one seems to understand about the heartache the man can feel. The people stop and stare, but nobody seems to care. It don't seem right somehow. It just don't seem fair. He's still a gorilla. What a great song. What a great song. And it's got a track that is, you want to talk about perfect prosody? Listen to that track and you will hear music that sounds like a gorilla. It sounds like it's a real heavy halftime groove, and it's just a great it fits the lyric absolutely to perfection. Absolutely to perfection. So what's going on here? What's different about this song? It's simply describing something. That's all it's doing. It's just describing this gorilla. The whole song. It just describes one thing. This is a physical description song, right? It's talking about something in real life, a gorilla. But wait a minute. Is that gorilla actually James Taylor? Methinks so. Okay? So he's using this analogy of a gorilla to describe himself, right? About his true feelings, that he doesn't want to talk about himself. He doesn't want to say that he's a loner, that he's kind of depressed, that he feels trapped inside his house sometimes, you know? So, for whatever genius reason, he decided to use a gorilla. He may have gone to a zoo and looked at that gorilla and went, you know, that's me. That's how I feel sometimes. And then he went home and wrote this song, right? So now we've got the physical description song. And in this case, we've added a little extra touch where the physical description is also an analogy, right? Whoa, tacos galore. All right, thank you. There's a taco. Do I get to eat that taco later? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Stay tuned. Film at 11. Okay. Where were we? Thank you for the taco. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, now we've got a hype sandwich. All right. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're so kind, all of you. I'm getting full of I don't know. Can you see these things? Do you see them pop up on the screen? Do you see them as well as me? Oh yeah, cat macaroon for dessert. Thank you. Yes, yes, dessert. Very good. Yes, I was very naughty the other day. I went to Trader Joe's with my mask, with my gloves, at the senior citizens' early hours. Yeah, and I kept my distance from everyone. But I bought a container that has dark chocolate miniature peanut butter cups. Yeah, I did that. My wife is furious at me as she eats them. Yeah. I'm on a weight gaining program here in the Love Kitchen. Anyway, back to the story here that we're talking about. So I could take this idea that I have, right? And I could choose in this moment of creative power that I'm in at this moment. I could go, you know what? I'm going to describe me. I'm a guy who likes this and this and the other thing. And I could even echo this. I could say I have arms like this. I have hands like this. I could even use this song as kind of a template for my song, right? Ah! Ah! Thank you. Thank you. Oh, is that? No, that's another high. That's another high. I have to bite that one too. Oh, these are delicious. Thank you all. Thank you for sending. Oh, another pizza. God, I'm going to gain weight. Oh, now I'm too fat. Oh, that's a greasy piece of pizza too. Wow. Woo. That thing's got, that thing's got 2,000 calories per slice. I can feel it coming on now. Actually, you know what? I think it's getting kind of warm in here. What time is it? Okay, we're looking good. Oh, what just happened? What just happened? That's right. Oh, God, I got to take the shirt off. There we go. All right. It's a real good name in the neighborhood. Would you be my? Would you be my neighbor? Hi, boys and girls. The Beatles. Don't we love the Beatles? We do. They're the best. Best little guys. All right. Can I look at an image? Let's see. We're going to take a break here for a commercial. I don't know if I can look at this or not. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to disappear off the screen, but let's see. Oh, no, there it is. Oh, summoning spell. Crossroad demon. Warning. Summon this demon at your own risk. Supernatural. All right. Okay. Well, this is kind of a cool little thing there. It's supernatural. Not sure what's going on there, but hey, that's fun. Let's see if I can get back. Summon spell. All right. Let's see who sent that. Image. Can you look at this? Oh, okay. I see. So the Condemn Factory 123 sent that, and thank you for that little instructional thingy-bob. Oh! Your mom did white magic and your dad did black magic. Wow, what a history! What a history! Whoa, that must have made for a very interesting upbringing, indeed. Indeed. So you have to learn a little bit about that. All right. Well, thank you for that. I'll check into that later. And I guess everybody else on this in this can open that as well. I think, huh? I would think so. I sent you a link to my songs, so I'm assuming everyone can open that. So enjoy a little new knowledge. Oh, they broke up, right? I don't know who started it, right? Yeah, well, black and white magic may have, difficulty. Anyway, so we learned this is the descriptive. So we're now into descriptive songs. All different kinds of descriptions. So this is a physical description song, right? Yeah. So we describe something real, but we make sure that it's loaded with compelling emotions. All right? So we describe something, but we want to pick something that brings on a compelling emotion. Always important. Always important. Make sure that whatever object or person you're describing has massive amounts of interest to the listener. All right? Okay. Now we come to one of my very, 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 very favorite songs. All right? Dancing in the Dark. All right. The boss, Bruce Springsteen, right? Is he the boss? I believe he is. Chairman of the board, that's Sinatra. And Bruce Springsteen is the boss. Okay, I think that's right. Bruce. Man, have you been to a Bruce Springsteen concert? 3.5 to 4 hours of playing without stopping. He must wear a Depends, and all his band members must also do the same. How does he keep from wanting to, defecate a little bit in 3.5, 4 hours? I don't know how he does it. Especially because you got to drink water to keep yourself hydrated, right? He must just burn it up. Just burn it up. Anyway, great guy. Super duper talented. How many decades now? 5 decades of hit songs and great stuff? 5. One of my very favorite songs is a Vet song, too. It's Devils and Dust. Ooh, that song. So powerful. So powerful. I get so much out of that song. It really takes me into that foxhole. It takes me there. I can feel the anxiety of the moment. Anyway, to get back to this, here's Bruce Springsteen giving us one of his very, very, very best songs. Get up in the evening, I ain't got nothing to say. I come home in the morning, I go to bed feeling the same way. I ain't nothing but tired. Man, I'm just tired and bored with myself. Hey there, baby. I could use just a little help. You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire, even if we're just dancing in the dark. Message keeps getting clearer. Radio's on, and I'm moving around the place. I check myself out in the mirror. I want to change my clothes, my hair, my face. Man, I ain't getting nowhere. Just sitting in a dump like this. There's something happening somewhere. Baby, I just know that there is. You can't start a fire. Can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire, even if we're just dancing in the dark. You sit around getting older. There's a joke here somewhere, and it's on me. I'll shake this world off my shoulders. Come, baby, this laugh's on me. Stay on the streets of this town, and they'll be carving you up all right. They say you gotta stay hungry. Hey, baby, I'm just about starving tonight. I'm dying for some action. I'm sick of sitting around here trying to write this book. I need a love reaction. Come on now, baby. Give me just one look. Isn't that such an interesting song? It's such an interesting song. It's so rich. It's so rich. This is also a situation, a single situation, right? He seems to be, I get up in the evening, he seems to be that he's in his apartment, right? Message keeps getting clear, radio's on, I check myself in the mirror. So what we have here, but wait, let's go on. So he's talking to a girl. You can't start a fire without this gun's for hire, even if we're just dancing in the dark. And then in the end, it goes, I'm dying for some action. I'm sick sitting around here writing this book. I need a love reaction. Come on, baby. Give me just one look. It's so interesting because it seems like it's taking place in his apartment, right? But then he says, come on, baby, give me just one look. So is he looking right at her? So maybe she's in the apartment with him because he keeps inviting her to dance with her, right? But it sounds like he doesn't know her. So it's kind of mysterious. I call this is another snapshot song taking place in his apartment, or actually we're not too sure where it is, but it seems like it's his apartment for most of the song until he talks to her. And then he's inviting her. But listen to this lyric. To me, this song is just loaded with attitude. So I call this an attitude song. I can write a song about my attitude. like I feel a certain way. I've got this attitude, right? And I'm going to write about this attitude. I'm going to sit around the house moping and groping. This is kind of a cool song for the coronavirus, isn't it? You know, sitting around, you know, being lonely and pissed off, right? So you can tell that he's just full of attitude here. And he's inviting this girl to help him out, even though they're just dancing in the dark, meaning we don't know where this is going, have no idea where this is going. So dancing in the dark, of course, is symbolic for even though we have no idea what the future is going to bring, you know. He does say, I love this, in this third verse, he says, you sit around getting older. There's a joke here somewhere, and it's on me. So he says, you know, like, you all can be sitting around, you know, he throws in the you. I love that, the generic, you know, the collective singular, you know, you sit around doing this and doing that. That was kind of a cool little trick, I thought, to make the song, again, contrast. He contrasts, he jumps out of the song and says, for instance, you know, I've been singing this song, but you know how you would feel if you were doing this? You know, that's very cool. And then he circles it back real quick, back into the song by saying, there's a joke here somewhere, and it's on me. I'll shake this world off my shoulders. Come, baby. This laugh's on me. All right? So, and then he gets into, you know, stay on the streets of this town, and they'll carve you up. There's the you again. Carve you up. You know, they say you're hungry. Well, I'm starving tonight. Just a great thing there to end this star. So we have attitude. I'm in my apartment. The radio's on, you know, in the second verse. I'm getting nowhere. Something's got to happen. And then in the third verse, he goes, you know, you can do this, you can do that. You know, he uses a general, this is how things can be, right? If you stay in the streets, if you kick around getting older, if you do this, if you do that. So that was a nice contrast, stepping out of the story and talking about things in general. So again, let's go back to my idea of the love thing. I could say in the third verse of my song, here I describe my attitude. You know, I was sort of a piece of shit until you came along. And I could talk about that. I used to hang around, I used to do this, I used to do that. It's, you know, just, I used to feel like old was just getting older. Great line. Old is just getting older, you know, until your youth came into my sight. And then I could say, you know, when people sit around and they don't fall in love, they end up being, you know, hermits and grumps. And so I could say, you know, as a third verse, I could go, you know, when you don't find love and you get older and grumpier and lonelier, well, that's not going to happen to me. I found my forever love. See, I could actually go into that place, like, you know, when you this and when you that, yeah. It says, what are they doing again? Veterans can apply. Let's see. Here's my mom sick and out of bed, and my dad's expert. The star from my dad. It's upside down. Okay, cool. I don't quite understand what you mean. What are they doing again? These guys, you mean dancing in the dark? He's obviously talking about his apartment, and he's talking about his attitude about, you know, he's pissed off and lonely, and this woman is a chance for him to break out of his loneliness. And so he's asking her, he's inviting her to, you know, hey, let's dance, even if it's in the dark. It's better than staying in the dark by yourself. So, and again, because a lot of this is kind of metaphorical, we're not sure where exactly he is, although he does thoroughly describe his apartment and his attitude towards that apartment. But then he goes into this other place in the third verse where he talks about, you know, when you're sitting around getting older. You know, when you stay on the streets of this town, they'll carve you up, you know. So he's talking about, again, more attitude about what society does to you, right? What the society can do to you, and how this relationship that he would like to have happen could help cure all that stuff. I hope I answered your question for you. All right, now we get into, and we're going to have to cut this off here pretty quick because it's getting on to 2 hours, but this is good that we're getting, we'll do this as our last song for today, but you can see where I'm going with this. Here's the next song. Now listen to this lyric. Oh, oh, oh. What am I doing? I'm helping people figure out, I'm helping y'all figure out different development techniques for songwriting. Different development techniques for songwriting. And, you know, if you came in late, you can just tune in, watch it again, and you can see from the beginning that we're just talking about different ways to tell a story in a lyric. All right, and how that relates to the music. We talk about the music sometimes. Anyway, we've got to keep moving here. So I hope that answers your question. All right. Okay. Yeah, this is a songwriting. This is a songwriting lecture. If the Factory 123 didn't know that, yeah. So welcome to a songwriting session. And we're actually kind of wrapping it up here. But this last one's really important. So I'm glad we're going to end on this one. Let's read this lyric here. It's called All By Myself, right? Written by Eric Carmen and Sergei Rachmaninoff, which is the Piano Concerto No. 2, right? So he's taken the music from Rachmaninoff and he's put it to music. He's put a lyric on it, which is pretty cool. When I was young, I never needed anyone to make, and making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. Living alone, I think of all the friends I've known. When I dial the telephone, nobody's home. All by myself, I don't want to be all by myself anymore. Hard to be sure, sometimes I feel so insecure, and love so distant and obscure remains the cure. All by myself, I don't want to be all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't want to live all by myself anymore. When I was young, never needed anyone. Making love was just for fun. Those days are gone, all by myself, okay? Now, what do we notice about this? Now, we've had a lot of interesting lyrics that we've talked about over the last hour and a half or so. What is different about these lyrics? I know some of you figured it out, and the difference is these are extremely simple lyrics. There isn't any detail, really. There is this one little spot where it talks about where is it? When I dial the telephone, nobody's home. That's it, though. That's the only detail of any kind. The rest of this is all generic. And if I didn't know the music, I would say this isn't really that interesting because of the lack of detail. But if you listen to the music and the guy's voice, whoa. whoa, double, triple, quadruple whoa. All right? What we have here is a classic example of an emotional description. Remember, we've done physical descriptions. We did an attitude description. And now we're doing, and let's face it, people, most of the songs we hear are about love, aren't they? And lots of those songs don't tell a story. They just talk about their feelings, right? Lots and lots of songs. So I saved the best for last. But interestingly enough, it's also a style of writing that lyrically doesn't have to be really that interesting. What makes this style of writing work is music. And what else? Rhyme scheme and line rhythm. And what else? Some wordplay. You can play on words a little bit. Do inner rhyme. I don't know if there's wordplay in this one. I don't think there was one. But the line rhythm is really interesting. Really interesting. When I was young, that's 2 syllables, never needed anyone. Never needed anyone. There's 3. And making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. So it goes 2 stresses, 3 stresses, 3 stresses, and then 2 stresses again. Right? Right? That is such an interesting, and I've never heard a song that's imitated this line rhythm. Well, maybe you could write one. Maybe you could go da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da da da. You know? So now I'm realizing this emotionally driven song relies on music, rhyme scheme, in other words, changing up the rhyme. We've talked about this before, about setting up expectations and then delivering either what they expect, which, gets a sense of resolve and a sense of, yeah, that's cool. I expected that. Or you can give them what I like to call a tiny, another taco, thank you. Yum, thank you. Thank you very much. So now, the line rhythms are different. The rhyme scheme changes. All by myself. Don't want to be all by myself anymore. Notice there's no rhyme in that. There's just an echo word. Myself. All by myself. Don't want to be. He could have gone left on the shelf anymore. But instead he just repeated it. An echo phrase, right? Yay. An echo phrase, right? Oh, we got rock hard. All right. There we go. All right. Thank you. Thank you for sending me all these wonderful little treats. Thank you. Oh, by the way, did somebody answer? Do you see these emojis popping up? Did somebody might have already answered that, but I don't see. I don't want to go back. Can somebody just type in? If you see these along with me, they're showing up right here. Do you guys see that too? Anyway, I sure do appreciate them. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, good. They see them. Thank you. So we're learning something really important. When we're writing an emotional song, we know, the listener knows, and forgives. Oh, another one. Thank you. Thank you. And that's 100. Okay, great. Appreciate it. Where was I? Oh, yes. Because the listener because the singer is in a state of heightened emotion, even a confessional moment where they're confessing these things that maybe they've been holding in for a while. Like he's saying this maybe for the first time. When I was young, I never needed anyone. Making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. He's in this confessional emotional state. The listener understands, hey, if you're in a deep emotional state, confessing something, you don't necessarily have the ability to come up with clever poetry. So you're forgiven for your simple, understated, and sometimes even mundane phrases, right? You're forgiven because the music is keeping my interest, very much so. And along with that music, what's also keeping my interest is the contrast in line rhythm, contrast in rhyme scheme, and then also lots of repetition, right? At the end, all by myself, don't want to be all by myself anymore. All by myself, don't want to live all by myself anymore. All by myself. He keeps making that point, right? Lots of repetition, lots of contrast, mixing it up, depending on your creative moment. How you do that is up to you in any creative moment. But these tricks are really going to keep the listener engaged, right? Keep the listener engaged. Real quickly, let's move on. I wanted to go on to one more. Baby, I'm Amazed by You. Let's read this one real quick because this is also an emotional reflection. Baby, I'm amazed by you. Okay, let's look at it. Every time our eyes meet, this feeling inside me is almost more than I can take. Baby, when you touch me, I can feel how much you love me. It just blows me away. I've never been as close to anyone or anything. I can hear your thoughts. I can see your dreams. I don't know how you do what you do. I'm so in love with you. It just keeps getting better. I want to spend the rest of my life with you by my side forever and ever. Every little thing you do, baby, I'm amazed by you. Next verse. The smell of your skin, the taste of your kiss, the way you whisper in the dark, your hair all around me, baby, you surround me. You touch me every place in my heart. Oh, it feels like the first time every time. I want to spend the whole night in your eyes. Oh man, that's such a great line. And where is that line? At the end of the song, also at the end of the section, the verse section. But they they ended with these really good lines. I can hear your thoughts. I can see your dreams. That's such beautiful poetry, and the imagery of that is fantastic. Now, once again, let's go back to, this is an emotional reflection, right? But what else is going on here? And this is what a lot of emotional reflection songs do. They rely on the physical world to give examples of that emotion that we're talking about. So, to go back to my little song that I was writing for my sweetheart, the first one would be simply, I'm amazed by you, you blow me away, everything you do, I'm amazed by you, you will be my forever girl, from this moment on, it's just going to be one of those just nothing but emotions, pure emotions, the whole song. But it's got to have, it's got to have an amazing, it should have it. I want to know just why you tell me so. You gotta be in love, and I really want the music to rule this simple emotional song, right? So, ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Ba-da-da. to just really just get into that emotion, right? I want to just get on into that emotion. But I also know that if I run out of mundane things and I just feel like I want to create even more interest lyrically, you're totally allowed and encouraged, if you like, to add details, to add examples of what you mean by all this incredible love, right? So he says, every time our eyes meet, this feeling inside of me is all I can take. Baby, when you touch me. So we have eyes, we have touch. It blows me away. I've never been so close. Again, touch to anything. I can hear your thoughts. I can see your dreams. Notice all this sensory. Well, it turns out that Amy Mayo lectured about this song, and I did hear about this lecture, and Mary Green, Amy Mayo, and Chris Lindsay purposely set out to get all 5 of the senses into this emotional song. And they did. If you look on this next verse, we have the smell, the taste of your lips, whispering. There's hearing again. Your hair all around me, baby, surround me. You touch. You have a place in my heart. It feels like the first time, every time. I want to spend the whole night in your eyes, which means you're so close to them that you can see the reflection. Can you see the reflection? Yeah. So cool. So don't hesitate to give examples, right? Let's see if we have... and the last one, seeing as how we might as well wrap it up. The last one is... the last song is I Try to Think About Elvis, and without reading this song, you can clearly see that this is the last style of development, of lyric development, of storytelling, and that is simply the list. Now, what makes a list song work is that the list is emotional. So make sure that if you're going to do a list song, and again, if I go back to my love song, I'm going to tell my sweetheart how much I love her. I may decide in the moment to just start listing things about her. Just if it turns out that in this creative moment, I just come up with a whole bunch of things about her, well, then that could be the whole song. That could be the entire song, right? All right? So that's where I'm going to go with that one. And we are done with how we can tell stories, how we can build a lyric. All right? So, once again, thanks for being with me. I enjoy sharing these 2 hours with you. And next time, on Friday, we'll have another topic, or not. Who knows what'll happen? It's kind of wild. Every day, it's a new day. And that's what makes it fun for both of us, hopefully. All right? So I wish you well. Stay at, like they're saying, instead of shaking hands, they're now going, was it namaste? So I say, namaste away. See you later, guys and gals. Love you.